And there we go. So awesome. Today I'm going to show you how to make a super easy lasagna. So we want to start the pasta, the lasagna pasta. And so I have a big pot here and about halfway full of water. The temperature is set to high and I'm going to bring it to a boil. Also I want to add a bunch of salt. This is a couple teaspoons of salt. And in the meantime, while I'm letting the water heat up and while we cook the pasta, I'm going to brown the sausage. I'm just using an Italian sausage, a mild, and this is 1 pound. I have the heat set to medium on my skillet. Don't really need to add any extra fat, like oil or anything, because there is fat in the sausage. And then once the water boils, we're gonna add in 12 pasta sheets. There's 3, 6, 9, and 12. And we're only gonna boil these for 5 to 6 minutes and keep them al dente, and then they will soften up and finish cooking while they are a part of the lasagna. And we will stir these occasionally. So just keep browning that sausage. Come over here and give the pasta a stir. And then back to the meat. All right, and then once the pasta is al dente, somewhere between 6 to 7 minutes, then I'm going to come over here and we'll just pour that pasta out. And then we will rinse it. Rinse it with cold water. And this will help prevent the pasta from sticking to each other. And then if you submerge them in a bowl of cold water, they won't stick until we are ready to use them. So I'm just going to put them in a bowl of cold water while we're waiting for everything else to be ready. And then they're not going to stick. You can also just spread them out on a sheet pan with some oil as well. All right, so this is good. Now what you'll do is you'll check to see how much oil is in there. This actually doesn't have a whole lot of extra oil, but if you do have a lot of extra oil, then you can just drain it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to transfer this sausage to a big bowl. Now I have the sauce that I'm using, and this is just a Prego Italian meat sauce. You can use any pasta sauce, any marinara sauce, if you want to do one from scratch. The reason why I didn't make a sauce from scratch is because I already have a video where I make a sauce from scratch, and that's 24 ounces of sauce, and then I'm going to do a little bit less than half of another one, and then we'll mix this in. And now add in the cottage cheese. This is 1 pound or 16 ounces of cottage cheese. Now a more classic lasagna will have the cheese completely separate from the sauce, but I like this way. This way is really cool and super easy. So we're just going to mix that in together. And you could certainly mix the cottage cheese with some of the mozzarella for like a specific cheese layer if you wanted to. But for this simple recipe, we're just going to mix them together like this. All right? And you could certainly use ricotta cheese if you want to. A lot of people use that cheese instead. All right, and now the lasagna sauce portion is ready to go. Super easy. And now at this point, preheat the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 176 Celsius. And now let us assemble the lasagna. I have a 13 by 9 inch pan here, and I sprayed it with cooking spray, and you could use a specific lasagna pan if you want. And I'm going to take a little bit of that extra sauce from my other bottle here, and we're going to just spread this out here on the bottom. And you can even take in some of this meat sauce as well and put that on the bottom here. This is going to add a nice little bed for those first layer of pasta sheets to sit on. We'll take a sheet of pasta and just let it drain off, and we will lay it down like that. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now we're going to add some mozzarella. I have 4 to 5 cups of mozzarella here. Even up to 6 cups, just depends on how much mozzarella that you like. And now we do another layer of this cottage cheese meat sauce. And then do another layer of pasta. And then again, cheese. Another layer of meat sauce. And then we'll do the last layer of pasta. And then I like to do, at this last layer, I like to do a thin layer of the meat sauce first. And then we finish the top off with the rest of the cheese. And so this recipe is just so easy. Like, you don't have to really worry too much about measuring. Just add, if you like a lot of sauce, add more sauce. If you don't like as much sauce, don't add as much sauce. If you want more pasta, add more pasta. More cheese, add more cheese. Different kind of cheese, add different kind of cheese. Totally up to you. This is a good foundation, easy lasagna that you can build from, and it's super yummy just as it is. And now I want to cover this with foil. I'm going to spray the foil with cooking spray just so the cheese does not stick to it. All right, so we want the shiny side. The shiny side is always face up. So I'm going to just flip this over. And just give it a little spray just in case. And then into the oven it goes, middle rack, again 350 Fahrenheit, 176 Celsius, and we're gonna bake it for 30 minutes. All right, after the 30 minutes, I'm gonna come in here and we will remove this foil. And look at that, it didn't stick at all. And then continue baking it for 15 to 20 minutes until the cheese gets all bubbly on top and a brown. See, it's not completely melted or anything on the top. And when it comes out of the oven, it'll look something like this. The cheese will be nice and melted on top. Awesome. And now just let it sit and cool for about 20 to 30 minutes before you cut into it. Otherwise, if you cut into it and try to serve it right now while it's super hot, then it's just gonna kind of fall all over the place on you. I'm going to cut me a piece. And see if I can get this out looking pretty. The first slice is always the most difficult to get out. And there we go. So awesome. Yummy. I'm gonna come in here